Clashes erupted in Paris between protesters and police as a women's yellow vest demonstration took shape in the French capital over the weekend. This time, the female-only rally took place Sunday as the Yellow Vest marches continued for an 8th consecutive week. Several hundred making a stand, they say, against dropping living standards. It was purely peaceful until later in the afternoon when scuffles broke out between protesters and the police again. And it seems one police union now has had enough and is demanding a file to list violent protesters. Charlotte Dubensky has more on that.
Well, essentially, this means that the police could have more rights and the ability to perhaps put what they describe as violent protesters under surveillance. It could also stop them potentially from being able to go to protests in the first place. And that's one of the calls that's coming from a police union. They've also said that they want tougher action against anybody who's found to have caused violence in protests.
We hear statements saying that we need to be tougher. It's been 2 years since we demanded more firmness against those who assault the police. Since the beginning of the Yellow Vest movement, how many of those arrested for assaulting law enforcement officers have gone to prison?
Well, that call comes after yet another weekend of violence here in Paris as protests took place across France for the Yellow Vest movement. Around 50,000 people were said to have been involved across France, and we saw violence from both sides of the crowd. This wasn't just the protesters, this was also from the police, including some pretty shocking footage that's emerged of a decorated police commander punching several protesters.
Oh, il le tabasse, putain, mais il le tabasse! Oh, mais il le tabasse, quoi! Oh, il est...
One woman who's 35 years old says she was also attacked by that commanding officer, and she's now filed a complaint which is currently under investigation. Interestingly, though, there has not been any response about that particular incident caught on camera by France's Interior Minister, Christopher Castaner, who has been quick to criticise violence from the protesters, including one protester who's apparently a former champion boxer who was caught in a bout of fisticuffs with officers on a bridge here in Paris on Saturday. Well, the Interior Minister took to social media to describe that attack by this alleged former boxer as being a cowardly attack. Now, he's also come under attack for something else that's happened. This is something published on social media that appeared to be an official decree from the Ministry of the Interior, suggesting that the police would have the right to round up any legal arms that were owned by the protesters. So this is things such as perhaps hunting guns if they have a license, knives or even batons. Now, he's been quick to point out that that indeed is not true, and he called it fake news.
Stop fake news. Another original idea from those who dream of insurrection and who don't hesitate to spread false documents. Information is the best remedy for fake news, to use without moderation.
Some people may have been hoping that the Yellow Vest movement would have died down and sort of pretty much left 2019 alone. It doesn't seem to be that way, and already Act 9 is planned for this forthcoming Saturday.